Thank you for tuning in. Dan asks some very interesting questions in his little email here. He says, Tom, why do women believe the following? The more the value of a gift, the more my man loves me. If a woman is looking for a man to be a husband, why would she want a man who is not fiscally responsible? After all, isn't the right guy for the job somebody who will save and invest and have a down payment for a house and be able to clothe and feed his kids and send them to college? Isn't that the kind of guy you want to be with? Or is she looking for a man who spends himself into bankruptcy and will marry with huge debts? This is why I feel Valentine's Day is a perverse dichotomy and a BS holiday fabricated by credit lenders and Hallmark. By the way, there's lots of card companies right now. Hallmark always gets the works for this, but there's plenty of them. That's from Dan. Now, it is fascinating, and we've talked about engagement rings on the show before, how women love to come into the office and show off their rock. Or in some cases, they call it a rock, and it's really a diamond crumb that they bought on credit from some shopping mall jewelry store. And they will pay 3 times the value of the damn thing, not only because they overpaid for it, but because they'll sign some kind of credit agreement and pay a lot of interest. Just a lot of that going around. Now, I have always said that these women running around with rocks, especially the guys who spent 2 months' salary to buy an engagement ring, that guy is not responsible. And by definition, I would say, not good marriage material. He calls this a dichotomy. Isn't it ironic that the guy who spends the most money is probably the least responsible, and therefore the worst candidate to marry you? And, of course, this goes on all the time. The guy who spends the most on taking me out to dinner, the guy who spends the most on clothing, the guy who spends... the fact is, the guy who spends the most frequently has the least. In Los Angeles, it's been rampant for decades. When you go to another country, and I just came back from a trip to South America, when you see somebody driving a Mercedes, a BMW, or any other expensive car, you know that person is rich. They're rich. And yet, in the United States, and specifically in Southern California, when you see somebody driving an expensive car, frequently, it's because they got a lease, or they financed it for, 7 or 8 years, as little money down as possible. And not only do they do that with cars, they spend money on clothes using their credit cards. They buy houses and zip codes they have no business being in, and they put no money down or 5% down and pay all kinds of money for PMI, it's the mortgage insurance. And they, of course, have to finance that purchase. And if they have less than stellar credit, they're paying a higher interest rate. So many of the people who you think are going to be your Prince Charming and treat you great are really fiscally irresponsible. Therefore, the wrong person to be with. I mean, if getting married for most people means being with somebody who will help you to finance the raising of children, don't you need to be with somebody who is fiscally responsible? Now, I have talked about many women who like to date guys who spend a lot of money on them, but then they marry Poindexter from the IT department. Because Poindexter's been putting money in his IRA and his 401k and his 503b and his Roth IRA. He's been putting money away for a long time. He had lots of money to save because Poindexter, never very nattily attired because he doesn't believe in wasting money on clothes or grooming, he's been putting that money away for a long time. No dating, no spending it on chicks, whatever. So what happens is your average chick, especially a halfway decent chick, she goes out with everybody in God's creation that spends money on her, goes away on vacations, eats at expensive restaurants, what have you. Now, many chicks ultimately end up with Poindexter. And while Poindexter is not that attractive, you know he's coming home for dinner. You know he'll be there, and you know that he'll never go broke because he believes in saving and investing and being responsible. But then you have chicks who want the 2 and 3 carat diamond rings, and they want to have a lot of money lavished on them after they get married, and they want to buy designer clothing, and they want to, you know what I'm talking about. They want to drive nice cars, get a new one every 2 years and what have you. And the guy who gives that to you is a completely irresponsible person. So even though you're getting treated, you feel like royalty, do you really want to marry somebody that irresponsible? So think about it. The guy who spends as little as possible on Valentine's Day, makes you a card, picks some daisies up from the side of the freeway or whatever, isn't he like the best possible person you could be with?
Tom Leykis.
Come on.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
How are you today?
Do you care?
Yes, I do, because I don't want you to rip me a new one because I don't agree with you on what you say.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Do you want to be with a guy who spends a lot of money on you? Do you really? Whether it be Valentine's Day or any time, is that what you want? Or do you want to be with somebody who's fiscally responsible? 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Rick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Rick.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, the professor's usually tough, but this one's an easy one.
Do tell.
Basically, chicks want both. They want the guy that'll be fiscally responsible everywhere else,
right,
so they can divert more of their resources towards the chick.
Well, that's like we want women who are virgins who are experts at fellatio.
Exactly. I mean, the way this works, if I'm a poor guy and I'm giving this much to a girl, just imagine what's going to happen when I'm making a medium income, and holy smokes, what happens when I turn rich? I mean, it all goes their way.
Mm-hmm. Well, very good point, Rick.
That's how I see it.
Thank you for that. Jason on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, what's going on, buddy?
Just doing a radio show, Jason.
Yeah, I hear that. Hey, listen, I'm a fireman in Southern California, and, I make close to 6 figures, and, I got excellent benefits and good medical, but, I'm not a rich guy, but I've majored in business in college, and I manage my money well. So I got a couple of cars, I got a wife with a nice ring, I got a nice house. Everything's taken care of the way it's supposed to, and it's just about managing your money. I'm a blue-collar guy. I don't know much about anything, but I just manage my money well.
Right. But a lot of women want you to, on the one hand, they want you to spend on them. On the other hand, if you go broke, they're very upset. They feel like you're not taking care of them.
Exactly. And, and being a fireman, I can work overtime and stuff like that and make some extra cash so we can do some extra things, and I only work 10 days a month and, a lot of benefits, but, it's just managing your money. I mean, I got guys on my department, too, that just spend all their money on their wives, don't manage it right.
I think any man who spends a lot of money on a woman is insane. He's just nuts.
Yeah, and I tell the guys at work, I'm like, you guys got to listen to Tom. He'll see you straight about what you need to spend your money on and how you spend it. And I'm a big fan of you, Tom. And I practice 101 as much as I can, and that's just the way it goes.
I'm glad to hear that, Jason. Thank you for that. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. You spend a lot of money on a woman. It's crazy. And even if you're married, you should not be spending a lot of money on a woman. You know what? If you're married, you should be building wealth. Saving, investing, planning. You should not be buying things on credit, and that includes cars, if you can possibly save up to buy a car. You should have a 20% down payment on a house. You should not be putting down 5% or nothing. You should be putting down money so that you don't have to pay the mortgage insurance, called PMI. If you're planning on having kids, you should have money put away so they can be properly dressed, properly educated, properly fed, properly sheltered. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Please. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Dave on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, Dave.
You know, there's fellas out here who actually make a decent income and, can support the large rock, but we're also fiscally responsible.
Yeah, but why do it?
What do you mean, why do what?
Why buy the big rock?
Well, it's what the women want.
So what? That's your money. Why should you spend that?
Well, what if I got enough to spend on her and keep her making?
But if you don't need to, why do it?
Well, it's not always about need. I mean, do you need to buy a $300-400 bottle of wine? You don't need to.
I generally don't.
Huh?
Generally, I don't.
You were talking earlier a couple months ago about just sitting out on the balcony, having a nice glass of Cabernet.
Yeah, the bottle costs $30 or $40, not $200 or $300.
I mean, for yourself, you don't splurge and buy a nice 61 Lafite or a little.
No, I don't. No.
Then what's the point of having 7 figures?
Well, let me give you an example. I own my house, not practically free and clear.
So do I.
Yeah, but the point I'm making to you is I put the money away in mutual funds and cash. And yeah, but you know what? When I spend money on things, I spend money on experiences, not on useless junk. Women love spending money on useless junk. You know what? They look in the store windows and they talk about all the things that are cute and all the things they have to have. I have to have boots. I have to have a purse. I have to have my 300th purse. I have to have a belt. I have to have this shirt, this blouse, this dress. I have to. I mean, come on, that's
what you said. Yeah, I'm not going to do the boots and the purse and all that stuff like that, and they're not going to see what the rest I've got. I'm a single guy. My house is just about paid for. I got almost 6 figures stocked away in the bank, and nobody knows about it. I drive an '82 Ford F-150 with a primer hood.
Right. So if that's what you're driving, then why don't you splurge and buy yourself a Testarossa?
Because I don't really get any.
No, but you'd waste money on a rock for a chick? Come on.
Well,
that's money you could spend on you.
Chicks.
No, you know what? Then why don't you just hire a hooker?
I'm glad you're not my financial advisor now.
You know what? I should be your financial advisor.
You should be my financial advisor. Hey, I just want to tell you, I listen to you all the time on my way home. I just started listening about a month ago. What a great show! It's entertaining as hell.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it, Dave. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Here's another Dave on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello,
Mr. Leykis.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
Listen, about the wine thing.
Yes.
Okay, either a $5 bottle of wine or $30 of wine. They seem to be content either wise.
Oh, yeah. Chicks very rarely know their wine. In fact, most people don't know their wine. And so what I tend to do with people
they have a Cabernet or a Chardonnay or what have you. It seems to be the same difference.
Right. Well, they don't know the difference anyway. I mean, who knows how many of these chicks, and a lot of guys too, I will say, but how many of these chicks know the difference between Merlot and Cabernet?
A few.
And not many. How many of these chicks know that Zinfandel is not white, it's red?
Yeah, you're right.
They don't. So I wouldn't buy a $300 bottle of wine and try to impress a chick with it. Complete waste.
Yeah. Hey, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Will you blow me up with your choice?
Oh, well, I always take you out old school if it's my choice. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. This is Aaron on the Tom Leykis Show. Aaron.
Yes.
Busy over there?
How you doing, Tom?
Okay, Aaron.
I have to agree with you on this because if your fiance demands a large rock, like she comes out and says it,
right?
You gotta dump her, man, because that's just complete crap. I'm married. I've been married for 2 years. My wife got a $200 wedding ring, engagement ring.
$200 engagement ring.
Yeah,
I like that.
And a $200 wedding ring. And I'm lucky because she's not superficial. And she's kind of like me. What you see is what you get.
Uh-huh.
And it was more of the thought and how I presented it.
Right.
that was the special thing. It wasn't because the thing was freaking the size of my knuckle. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it pisses me off when I start hearing these chicks talk about how, you know, he better get me a big ring because, I mean, give me a break. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all.
Well, that's what women always say. Oh, it's the thought that counts. Don't you love me? And then you get them a little diamond crumb there at Zales or K Jewelers or whatever, and then they flip. The right girl is going to appreciate whatever you get them. That's how I see it. And it's like giving someone a gift for Christmas. Like I don't make that much money, you know, but I do what I can with the money that I've got for buying gifts for people. Mm-hmm. And if they can't appreciate it, then they can F off. There we go, Aaron. It's about the thought. Thank you for that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Robert on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Make a lot of money and about to get married. Wondering what your thoughts are on how best to go about deciding how much to spend on the engagement ring. Well, first of all, don't use commercials that tell you these stupid formulas that you're supposed to spend 2 months of your salary. I would never spend 40 G's on an engagement ring. Don't do that. Don't worry. I know, you're the boss. You decide how much it is. You can either pick a ring and give it to her. By the way, I think that's the best tactic of all. If you know she'll say yes. That's what I'm doing. That's the best way to control it. So second of all, what's the best place to buy one? Not looking for a store name, but... Oh, well, I'll tell you exactly what you do. You go down to downtown Los Angeles to the Diamond District. And there are plenty of jewelers that do not have storefronts. They're in office buildings in the Diamond District. And you find yourself a jeweler there. The St. Francis Jewelry Center is a good place to start, because some of these guys have little booths in there. And you will pay a lot less for diamonds than you will pay by going to, Tiffany or Bailey Banks and Biddle or one of those places. Right. And now, is that similar to the Diamond District in New York? It's similar, yes. Okay. All right, and then what about clarity? There's this whole issue on clarity. That's only an issue for chicks who run right out and get their ring appraised immediately, and those are usually gold diggers. And you can't tell a goddamn difference anyway. Well, you know what? Hey, you look, on the low end you can tell, because they start turning yellow and they look scratched. But, the top 3-4 categories, I think the average person can't tell the difference. In fact, I think most chicks couldn't tell if it was cubic zirconia. But that's just me. Thanks a lot for the call, Robert. I appreciate it. 1-800-5800-TOM. The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show. From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about whether women want to be with a fiscally responsible guy or a guy who spends and spends and spends on them. Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Welcome to Baltimore, Dad.
Why, thank you, son. I keep finding more and more of the sons I never had.
I know, it's belated, but thank you. I wanted to just express what I haven't heard coming up in this conversation all the time, is that the woman never has any plans to provide for the man or the family in any way. It's always the man, I need a roof over my head, my kids got to go to school. But
well, at one time, probably when your grandparents were getting married, at one time, the man went out and earned money, and he lifted heavy objects, he took the garbage out, and the woman made dinner. In fact, the woman made 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and did the laundry. So you had your job, and she had her job. Now what you have is women who want you to pay for everything, but then they don't want to cook, they don't want to clean, they don't want to do laundry. They are far too liberated for that. But they still want you to pay the majority of the bills.
Right, and they're always bellowing about how they want an old-fashioned man, but they want to be a modern woman.
Right, exactly.
And that is not going to happen.
Exactly. It's like that song a few years ago, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? You know what? Cowboys are living with butchified, lesbified, chunky chicks with short hair who are large and in charge and go around making demands all the time.
Exactly.
The cowboys have no interest.
Right. And they don't care about anything but what they're going to get, and they never discuss what they're going to put into it. It's awful.
Well, you're right about that.
Thank you for taking my call. I love you so much.
Mike, thank you. Appreciate it, son. 1-800-5800-TOM's my son calling in. The son I never had. Summer on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I just started listening to your show.
Actually, it's winter on the Tom Leykis Show. Summer is calling in. Yeah.
I just started listening to your show, and I like it a lot. I've been hearing a lot about how men are supposed to treat women, and I've just recently started dating a guy, and I'm wondering, how am I supposed to treat him? Like, how is it? It just seems like...
When you say you're dating him, does that mean you're in love with him, or it just means you're having sex with him?
Just having, well...
You're having sex.
I think that's slightly more than just sex.
I know you like to think of it as that, but what is it really?
Just sex.
It's just sex.
Just sex and, you know...
Just sex, and so that it has, so that it's acceptable to the general public, you go out to a movie once in a while, or something like that.
Exactly. There you go.
You eat a cheap meal together.
All right, so how am I supposed to treat him? How does it work?
Well, in terms of what now?
In terms of just, I don't know. It just feels like to maintain anything. I mean, is he going to lose interest if I don't treat him like crap? Just how you say that men are. Well,
if you're just dating somebody and you just want to get laid, yeah, treating them like crap is very effective.
So just continue.
Have you been treating him like crap?
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder.
Maybe you haven't been treating him like crap enough.
So is that what I'm supposed to be doing, or am I supposed to treat him like...
Well, the question is, again, if you're in love with him, treating him like crap is not the way to go, because it gets old.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You see?
I see what you're saying.
So, again, the idea is, if he's, a booty call, plus a little bit of dinner once in a while, you want to have, I tell you the same thing I tell the guys. You want to have other guys... you want to have other plates spinning, so you want to have other guys in the mix. You don't want them moving in or having a key to your place. You don't want them to have the password to any of your accounts or your voicemail or any of that stuff. You want to keep him off kilter all the time. You want to have him believing that, you like him well enough, but that you're free and you do other things too.
And then if you do end up wanting to move it to the next level, then what are you supposed to do?
Wait for him to suggest it.
All right.
Because if you start suggesting it, he feels pressure.
All right.
In fact, best thing to do is to mislead him into believing that other people want to marry you, or other people want to see you more often, or other people want an exclusive relationship.
Oh, and before I did hear you, the other topic, I guess, on wedding rings and different sizes. And let me tell you, any girl who wants a huge ring is a gold digger. And let me tell you, I want a huge ring, but the key is I plan on buying it for myself. It's called the Nobody Loves Me More Than Me ring.
Oh, yeah.
And I suggest every woman go out and get one.
I'm surprised the beers haven't started running commercials with it.
All right, take it easy, Tom.
The large and in charge diamond ring.
Exactly.
The diamond ring for the chick who sits home eating all the time and now cannot attract a man to buy her a diamond ring. So she has to have one with a rock large enough to cover that big, fat, hairy knuckle underneath the ring. That's right. The woman with more than 4 cats ring. That's right. The spinster ring, the old maid ring, the bag lady ring. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of potential here. Encourage women to buy their own rings for themselves. Absolutely.
Tom Leykis.
Woof.
Tom Leykis.
Woof.
800-5800. Tom.
This is insanity, and you people are insane.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Yes, the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number here. Let's say hello here to Amy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so happy to be talking to you.
As well you should be.
You know, you're awesome.
Thank you.
I don't care what other women say. Well, I just wanted to call and tell you that other women need to quit griping about not getting a Valentine, because some women are lucky to even have a man. You know, so if you don't get anything, quit griping, okay?
Right.
If for some of these men, they don't want commitments, that's fine.
Right. Exactly.
Quit griping. You know what other word I want to say, but I don't know if I can say it over the air, so.
Bitching?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say
Thank
that.
you.
Yes, of course.
Because a lot of them are bitches, and they need to shut up and quit bitching. So.
Bitches and hoes and gold diggers. Yes.
So, you know, before I got married, I was a little freaky freak, but I married a good man. I've been married almost 7 years. He's awesome. If he wants to go out and have a beer with his friends, go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sounds good to me.
So, I mean, we're married, but he's not dead.
I understand.
I trust him.
Does he go to strip clubs and stuff?
Yeah. I don't care. I trust him. That's the first thing to a marriage. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing.
Right.
And you have to have trust. That's what a foundation is built upon. And I have 3 little boys, and let me tell you, I'm teaching them to grow up to be little pimps.
Good for you.
You know what? I've got a 3, 4, and 5-year-old, so you know my sex life is great.
Look at you. You never
That's
stop.
what I want for Valentine's Day.
You're always squeezing one out. Look at you.
Exactly. But I'm done with that. But because my last one came early, and it's kind of scary. But, you know, all I want for Valentine's Day is some little freaky freak in the bedroom.
Really?
And I am happy with that, baby. And let me tell you.
Very
my
nice.
husband does not have to go out to buy me anything.
I love that.
We went out last weekend. He took me to a Cheesecake Factory, and I had never been there. And that's a treat for us. You know what I mean? And we did that last weekend, and I was happy with that.
Very nice.
He doesn't have to get me anything on Valentine's Day.
So you didn't have to take you out to the Outback to get a bloomin' onion or anything?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
You know, so we come home, and he gets dessert that way, so.
Look at that.
You know.
And
I just
he's
think it's
licking it
awesome.
up.
I
Huh?
love you. I'm so glad you were on here, because you get the best advice. You tell it straight up like it should be.
That's what I try to do, Amy.
To women. And that's why I'm so glad I'm the mother of 3 little boys and not 3 little girls.
There we go. I'm so proud of you,
You know what?
Amy.
Them little sluts that come around 10 years from now.
That's right. Are you kidding? They'll be coming around when your boys are 12 years old. That's what's happening now.
You know, I mean, I'll teach them to be responsible, but at the same time, I'm going to teach them not to be married at 18. And
good for you.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of that in Texas, Amy. You know that, right? There's a lot of that in Texas.
You know, oh yeah.
A lot of that.
But them little hoochies need to stay away from my boys.
That's right.
I want them to, if they're going to be committed to anybody, at least be committed to a woman who has money.
That's exactly right.
She can take care of my kids, you know what I mean?
Sounds good to me.
They're going to learn to work for a living and work hard at it, but you don't get anything for free, but I'm trying to be the best mother I can be, and, you know.
I understand.
So, I just wanted to call and tell you that.
Amy, I'm proud of you and your sons, and your husband must be a really cool guy. I like it.
Oh, I love him. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, we have our problems, don't get me wrong, but it's usually over something petty.
Yeah, well,
You know,
it is always the way.
You forget why you argued in the first place, and you got to go on with it.
You're damn straight. Amy, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Michael on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how are you, man?
Okay, Michael.
I need to know how I can convince my girlfriend not to spend a lot of money on my wedding. My parents are going to give us all kinds of money. Well, not all kinds, but some money to get married. And they want to spend it on this wedding, and I want to spend it on the honeymoon. You know what I'm talking about?
You shouldn't do either one. You should spend it on like a down payment on a house or something.
Yeah, I know, but either way, we're going to spend all this money on this wedding. No matter what, my mother is just insane about weddings. Both my brothers' weddings were out of control, you know, and she just doesn't want to have it any other way but hers.
So no doubt your fiancé and your mother are conspiring to spend thousands of dollars.
All the way. They're just going crazy, dude, and I'm like losing it. When I go check out places with them, I just freak out, you know. I just start saying, yeah, I don't want to pay all this money for people to have a piece of chicken or, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Thank you, Mike. Lori on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, Lori. Yes.
Well, I want to tell you that buying that big rock can work for the guy.
How?
When my husband and I got engaged, I told him I want just simple gold bands. The marriage isn't about all this fluff, frou-frou stuff.
Right.
Just gold bands.
Right.
Let's put our money elsewhere.
Right.
Mutual funds, down payment. And he said, no, I want to buy you a diamond. I said, don't waste your money. I said, unless you buy me a diamond that people can notice across a crowded room and come over and hold my hand and say, my God, that's gorgeous, you're wasting your money. Mm-hmm. So he got me that kind of diamond. And it's beautiful. It's my sparkly.
Well, I'm sure it is, but is it really a smart investment for him? No.
No, and I told him I didn't want it.
Yeah, but that was you used reverse psychology to get him to do what you wanted.
No.
No? So you did not want it? Or you...
Diamond District. I said, do this. We went to another great place like the St. Francis Center, and, couldn't have bought it at 3 or 4 times the price at a jeweler. Right. So we did good as far as spending money.
Yeah, but how much did it end up costing?
It ended up costing about $3,000, including the rubies and diamonds on the side of the 1.5 carat center stone, which was VVS2 D color.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And people will come up and just hold my hand.
When I hear about $3,000, I imagine that I could have gotten into a mutual fund with a $3,000 minimum.
I would have rather gotten...
I could have turned $3,000 into $6,000.
But
no, if you really felt that way, you would not have been going hand in hand, skipping merrily down to the Diamond District.
No, he loved it. He wanted to show the world, for whatever reasons he had, that he could...
That he is an irresponsible individual.
No. Well, aren't we all?
That has warped economic priorities.
I don't know. We're homeowners. We've got 3 children. I started listening to...
Well, having 3 children is not necessarily a good investment. How much debt do you have?
I know. We don't. We're in the black.
So you have no credit card debt at all?
No, we pay them off every month.
You do? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I'm totally neurotic about finances. That's why I wanted gold bands. I didn't want a rock. I wanted a mutual fund. We've got those too. But we've been married for 10 years, you know? He wanted something that would, and the gals who I know, they just think I've got the best husband because he has this ring. Now, he's never bought me any jewelry since because I don't want to spend money on jewelry.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. 1-800-5800-TOM. I just want to announce to all the women out there that there's the image of Jesus on my penis, and I'll be standing out of the parking lot after the show. If you want to come down here and get a look, I'm going to be unzipping my fly, and then I expect you all to get on your knees and pray.
Better watch it, Tom. You're going to have a big old lineup out there tonight.
I know.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. You betcha, baby. Now, Nick has a question that's kind of an offshoot of something I said on the air. Hello, Nick.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little dilemma. Yeah, my girlfriend thinks that white Zinfandel wine is white, which, after I heard you say it, I told her, I was like, I asked her a question. I said, what color is white Zinfandel wine? She said white.
Yeah, well... anybody looks at it knows it's pink anyway.
Right, right. So she goes calling the restaurant, and she still thinks it's white.
Yeah, well, Zinfandel grapes are red grapes, and they produce red wine.
Right.
And white Zinfandel is the same exact grape, but they squeeze the juice out of the grape, and they keep it away from the skins so that it just has that little pink color, but it doesn't look red. Like real Zinfandel looks like Merlot or like Cabernet.
Right.
It does not look like that stuff in a bottle that's pink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just calling to clarify, because she still wants to argue about it,
Well, she's wrong. She's a broad, and she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Right, of course.
So you tell her, look, you're a goddamn broad. You don't know what you're talking about.
Of course.
What do women know about this stuff anyway?
Yeah, really.
Tell her I said so.
All right, thank you.
No problem, Nick. Thank you. Stand up, be a man, buck up. 1-800-5800-TOM. Jim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Okay, Jim.
Great. Hey, I was just talking about, thinking about the diamond ring that I bought for my ex-wife and how it was a great investment.
For her, it was.
Well, no, actually, after I found her cheating on me, I got the ring back, sold it, only lost maybe about $500 on it, and then
you lost $500. That's not a good investment. That's a bad investment.
Yeah, but I had the money afterwards to go down to Rio and kick it down there.
Well, you know what diamonds are? They are divorce insurance for women. When they get divorced, they take that ring, they cash it in, or they turn it into some other piece of jewelry.
Not in this case. I got it back.
Oh, well, generally that's what they do.
Well, yeah, that's for the poor stats.
You know what? You want to make a good investment before you get married and before you have community property. Invest as a mutual fund. Put the money away. Keep it for yourself. That's a good investment.
Yeah.
Don't buy diamond ring. You lost $500 on your investment, pal. If you had taken that couple of $1,000 and put it in the market, you know where you would have been now? Oh.
Yeah, that's only dropping the bucket what I lost to that bitch before. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, can you take me out with a binger and a gracias?
A what?
A bong hit,
Oh, a bong hit, Gracias, of course.
Gracias.
Our email address is my name. It's Tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.